Welcome back. We are talking with our non-book readers about the Amazon show Wheel of Time. We are on episode 3 of season 2. Back with us is Lady Catherine and G-Mama. Hello, ladies.
Hello, puppets.
Episode 3 is called What Might Be.
What might be.
Yes.
And it starts off with a long scene before the credits even roll. That is Nynaeve entering the arches. So there was a whole lot
of things that might be.
So let's talk about the arches.
When they first started, it looked like it was a memory of her childhood. And I really loved her hair natural like that. It looked really great. The second one was what I thought. Second one was
it was the Two Rivers. It was Tam 6.
Right. Do you think the first one was before she was adopted, and this is what happened to kill her parents, and then she was adopted by the? Okay,
that's kind of what I got. Right. It was the past, the present, and the future were the 3.
Yeah, but I don't know if the present was a possibility or is happening.
Right. They said, I don't know if any of them did. Because one of the things that they said is it real? And she said, no one knows. No one knows if what happens, because it was the first one. When she came out of the first one, she said, was that real? And the novice teacher said, no one knows.
So now if she didn't know if it was real or not, does that make you think it might not have been a memory? Like, if it was a memory, would she talk about it differently?
Her asking if it was real when that
I
one
liked when she looked in the river and she gets the reflection.
Who do you think she was seeing in the river?
I think it was her. I do think it was her and her parents and a memory of what happened, because she lost her parents, and I think I was trying to remember kind of her history. I know she came to the Two Rivers either as an orphan or was brought in as a wisdom really, really young, right? And she had herbs in her hand when she was collecting this root, this red crimson root is a recurring character now too. We're seeing it quite a lot. But right, so whether her parents were also wisdoms, her mom was a pretty good archer, seemed like too.
Yeah.
My take on it was that it was a memory, whether it was a repressed memory. Maybe she didn't remember that it happened. So her coming out saying, "Ooh, was that real?" was her not really sure, because it felt so real. I think she said that too, that it felt so real.
Mm-hmm. So did she say that after the first one when she came out? Was that real?
I think after the first one she said that. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do we know how old she was when she was adopted? Do we remember?
I don't know.
Or no? Okay. And then getting to see Rand's dad.
Oh, he looked great. Yeah, hearty.
Nice boils. So the arches are they said it a number of times. It's going to see your fears. You're going to see your worst fears. So I looked at the first one. That fear is one that sort of came true, right? She watched her parents die. That's a pretty horrid thing. The second one was her trying to help people that she loved and cared for, and she couldn't help them at all. She tried. He wanted her to stay. She couldn't. She tried to use the one power. She was told she couldn't use the one power, and she couldn't help them and had to leave. So to me, that was an interesting fear that she has, as somebody who wants to help but can't. And then the third one, which I do love how they did that, where it made it seem like she came out but was in. So the third one, either her fear was to be a red Aja.
Yeah, because we don't know what happened. Yeah.
But it ultimately was her losing everyone she loved, right? She lived this entire life and appeared to have everything that she wanted. She was in contact with Egwene. She was happy, had a child, married to Lan, no buns, Lan, and then witnessed losing all of them. I gotta say, did not prefer the hair, the Lan with the hair down. Definitely prefer Lan with the bun.
So we on the third one, we do see that Lan gets dies, right?
And Perrin dies,
and then Matt dies, Perrin dies. He sees, and then she sees the doorway, the arch, after she channels. But if that didn't happen, what would have happened with Nynaeve? Would she have just lived in this alternate reality forever?
Perhaps.
She used the power while she was there. Did she open up that door by using
I think so. Yeah, because obviously they said you can't use the power in there. She tried in the second arch and couldn't. In the third one, it was all that emotion and anger, which is how she channels, and so she used it. And that's what I thought, Lady Catherine, is that her using the power is what opened it. Because I mean, even it closed, right? And they're all living like she died and she's never coming back. So clearly that has never happened before. I mean, how many times did they say the line that there is but one? I wrote it down, but I can't remember it. You know, what did it say? There is but one. It opens but once, or something like that.
Right. The path home, or the path will come but once.
Right. You know, so a couple of things that I found interesting. One, back to her fear. So her fear that she saw everyone that she loves dies, except for her daughter, which to me would be, I mean, it's horrible to have like people die, but having your child die to me would be the absolute ultimate. And her daughter didn't die. So it was a pretty bad fear, but anyway, I just found that interesting.
Well, I mean, if we go forward logically, she jumps through with her daughter, comes out in this world without her daughter.
Right.
But in the other world, the daughter just flies through, and
the daughter just hits the wall,
and she's now alone,
all totally by herself, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so
yeah.
But
I agree with you, Lady Catherine, that it was her using the one power. But they've also talked about her being the most powerful that they've ever seen, and this now appears to be the only time somebody has ever used the one power in the arches, and the only time that the way back has been opened again. So clearly she's the shit.
Well, she's the shit.
My thing was, okay, so she lived like years there in the arch. She had a kid, all this stuff. Matt was looking fine. He was all dressed nice. He was traveling. He was doing all this stuff.
Gallant.
In contact with Egwene, because he brought the letter from Egwene, right? So
he's going from city to city. He was a traveler, but it took like a day in real time, or their time, or something like that. About a day. So where did Lan go? He was supposedly going to the. He never showed up.
Oh, right, but we don't know how far away he is. Wherever he's coming from with Alana, but yeah. So far, we haven't seen him get back to the tower.
Yeah, okay, because I was just wondering that all of a sudden we expect him to be showing up at the tower anytime. He shows up in her dream, and then he never shows up in the tower that we saw.
When Nynaeve came out, she remembered, right? So she came out the first time and she remembered what happened, and it felt very real. She came out the second time, she remembered what happened, it felt very real. So I'm wondering, and then when she fake came out, she didn't know she's like, I don't even know what happened, because fake came out.
Well, she had that psychedelic
trippy, but again, but a red Aja too, which was super interesting. But so I was wondering that if to her, when she comes out, she's gonna feel like she just lived for 6 years or whatever, just lived a whole other life, and is she gonna have the memories of everything that she experienced?
What does that do to her or for her?
To me, huge, right? Either that's what she knows she's going to become an Aes Sedai that she's missing, because she's not going to have that life, that she had a daughter. Where is her daughter? So I mean, to me, that's a huge kind of shift to her character and what she either knows is possible in her life that seemed like everything she wanted, right? So it also but then also everything was taken away. So if it's
by the dark, not like a farming accident, like a Trolloc attack, like the Dark One got them. Yeah.
Right. Said that to Lan. Egwene saw Trollocs wherever, and Egwene's green. So I'm interested to see, okay, does Egwene become a Green Aja? Because how much of it is foreseeing the future and how much of it is just a possibility of the future?
Right, yeah.
One of the threads.
Yeah, Showtime.
You know what, though? Her dad told her, stay away from red. It's dead.
She did, yeah.
In the beginning.
And then her dress as the Red Aja was...
nice, Catherine. Yeah.
We do have another instance of the scream heal, well, at least the attempt at scream heal, where Nynaeve's she does
but all the enemies flew away.
All the enemies flew away, but it didn't get to heal Lan this time.
I find it interesting that her daughter wasn't killed. If this is the place of your greatest fears, the fact that and Ryan, I get that as she's coming on the other side is then where her greatest fear is realized, like when she's back. Her greatest, it wasn't realized when she was in there.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. That's just an interesting kind of part of it.
No one had the bucket either to release her of her sins and forgive her or whatever. Hose her down.
I know.
She didn't get hosed down. You're right.
She didn't. I know.
Her ring got melted down.
Hey, you know what? They bathed her in tears of joy, and that's how she got hosed down.
Just because you were crying, Ryan, doesn't mean that they were all bathing her with tears. And I really like the fact that the one I wasn't sure about stayed with her.
Yeah, I like that a lot too.
Pillows, blankets, and said, "Okay, I'll stay with you." Unless God, I keep looking at everyone like they're maybe got ulterior motives. Like, she's got FOMO. She doesn't want to see if something happens. She's not there, so because she's a bad person. But that's in my mind. I just think everyone's got a little tinge of bad to them first before I.
Well, and I'm generally on the opposite. Yeah. So I quite liked her loyalty, right? And she wanted to help Egwene, and she also knows a lot, right? So we learned that she was in the tower a lot, but she found Egwene trying to open one of the arches. I don't know if that's what it's called. And she spouts off some fact. Oh, this 100 times it's tried where somebody's tried to bring back, and it's never worked. I mean, she's always like spouting all these facts about stuff.
She's Wikipedia.
She could also make alcohol without the others couldn't even get the dirty water out.
Right? I know.
Brewing her own,
kombucha.
Seriously, she's got her own butterbeer there.
Could it be possible that all that she did with the arches did somehow?
It could. I was thinking it was more from Nynaeve's side out rather than anything that they said, because they were pretty slow to react. Like, she comes out and is there, and they both kind of like pop up their head, and I don't know, they waited a couple seconds too long.
You're like shaking the cobwebs.
Yeah.
Bloody Nynaeve on the floor.
I'm sure a lot of people came running after that because she was screaming.
I did. Well, we're still kind of on Nynaeve and Elaine. Elaine made a comment, right? So when she was sort of consoling Egwene, that she knew what happened in the Two Rivers. She knew the Trollocs came. She knew that Nynaeve left but didn't die. And so she said she didn't die. She came to find you, and she's here because to follow. She followed you here. And then she said, it's clear that the serpent ring would never sit well on her finger. That was really interesting to me.
Yeah, judge much?
Right. Well, yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, she knows Aes Sedai, and she knows the people in the tower, and she knows what kind of people they are. She doesn't know Nynaeve at all. Like, I think she had never met her up until then. She knew stories about her. So it was a really interesting statement, but also not wrong. From what I have seen of Nynaeve too. Like, it wasn't necessarily a wrong statement because, right, we've seen her be pushed back to everything too. So anyway, I found it really interesting comment.
I wonder if it's because she thinks that they're her inferiors because she's the heir to the place that owns Two Rivers. So she thinks that they are somewhat inferior. That's how she knows so much because she's been there so many times.
Yeah, I didn't get it as she was looking at it as like her subjects. It was just something that was an intuitive thing for her to know because she knows the Aes Sedai and seems to have an idea about Nynaeve that her demeanor and her attitude and how she handles things is not how things happen in the tower. So I took it more that way than her being like treating them as inferior. But anyway, I'm still an Elaine fan.
I'd like to go to Popeye if we can.
Okay.
Finish Sailor Man.
Oh.
So he did not kneel.
Oh no, she's wait. Every time you move, we gotta do something.
Yeah, we need to react. Oh
shit.
Fine. He didn't kneel for her.
Yes.
And I have to tell you, I had company over and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at her mask. And then that happened. And I was like, oh no, sorry, don't look at the TV. Kids.
Look away. That was definitely one of these moments for me.
Oh yeah. No, I rewatched it and went, ooh. And then the way this is terrible, the way his side of his face kind of cut open, it kind of looked like the mask that they wear. I did. It was good.
Yeah, our poor friend Uno got horned.
Yeah, he just looked like Popeye to me. I just kept the one Popeye. And then I wrote totally deep throat the gold member. So sorry.
Totally deep throat the golden member. I think that should have been the episode title.
Deep throat the gold member.
They missed an opportunity
They
there.
really missed it.
For sure.
Rafe, talk to us.
So the Seanchan, is that what they're called?
Mhm.
Is that how you
Yes.
pronounce that? Seanchan, right? So they were talking about the fact that like that's their land and they've been gone for a long time, but now they're back and they're ready for their subjects. And so I was wondering where they've been and why they're back now. And with Ishmael on the parade float with them, I thought he is kind of the opening up of whatever the seal and him coming back. Is that why they're back too? So clearly they're bad guys. I was just sort of wondering, like, so why now are they back? And to me, I feel like it's got to be tied to the Dark One. They're interesting. Their costumes are freaking fantastic.
I think they were coming for a while because one of the blue Ks wanted to leave and go because boats were going missing. And I think that was the group because the Golden Binkies were, doing the genie and doing the wave. So I think they were coming before he was cracked open and got out of the manhole.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's all been leading up. It's slowly but surely everything's going together.
But that wave at the very end, that was after the Rand and fight with the Ishmael.
Maureen had asked to be taken out of the D&B so that she could go and find out what's going on everywhere else.
Got it. Okay, because that was
the
all
other
happening.
one wanted to leave, so it was already going on. Yeah.
That's
Fair.
a good memory. There was an Aes Sedai named Maragon who was in charge of the Blue Aja, who said, Maureen, I'm going to need you to stay here. I'm going to go check out. There's a bunch of ships going missing and a bunch of sea folk are going missing. So that's alluded that may be connected, perhaps. Let's see. We have Matt and Min.
Yeah.
Matt's hanging out with Liandrin. Liandrin, just kind of loses interest in him. Like, fine, get out, dirtbag.
But where did the sunroof come from?
Where does
all of a sudden he's got a sunroof in his room?
There was. I saw that too. There was like that window way up that I must have been dark last time she was in there, and last time.
Yeah, but I mean that's I'd be stacking stuff trying to call out of that. If I got that there.
My questions here are: did Nynaeve's death change Liandrin's plan? Right, so and she basically said, like, I've been too focused on you. I had forgotten that Maureen was the one that asked him. So she's like, I've been too focused on you. I lost sight of other things. Somebody died. So just go. I don't really care. Did that change the plan? Or was this the plan all along? Because she made him feel really bad about himself, so bad that he didn't approach Egwene. So that worked, right? Mm-hmm. She said that, nobody likes you, nobody cares. And then she had Min take him somewhere, and Min's like, oh, it was even his idea. I didn't have to do it. So I don't know if that was the plan the whole time, or if that's like plan B because she thought Nynaeve was dead.
I think when Min saw Matt stab Rand in her vision, then the red chick does not want Rand around, and this is a way to get rid of Rand, and if that is a way to do it, then let's do it. I didn't think that he didn't see Wayne because of what the Red had said. I just thought he just squirreled out like he does a lot. I just don't think he has much of a backbone, but I think it was set up for Min, because Min goes, yeah, some Red saw me drinking or at the bar, and I was like, okay, the blue knew about you. I didn't know if the Red knew about you, but what had you done wrong? So I think she was put in there it was a plan the whole time. Yeah. I think she was not really a prisoner. I think it became an opportunity.
I was kind of thinking that too. I'm like, I think, she was a plant that the whole time. And then I was wondering too, I'm like, but I was wondering, but then they kind of answered it, like, how much is there compelling going on? Like, is Liandrin able to, like, you know, compel Matt to do things, like either leave or like even scratch the hole through the wall or whatever? But I changed my mind. I don't think that that's happening. But I do think that she's making him feel bad about himself, because even though he's a little like off, he's really good friends with these people in the Two Rivers, and I mean they all grew up together. So I don't think he would just bail on her just because he doesn't care. I think and she read the letters. She kept reading the letters, right? All these letters and saying, 12 letters, no mention of you. Like, this was her. She's making him feel like his friends don't care about him and like nobody cares about him. So I think that was Liandrin's doing.
Yeah. When she said, now Moraine will have nothing against us, I don't know what Moraine had against Min, but I know what she had against the Red, her son, which she didn't know it was her son. She just knew it was a guy she was meeting. But I don't know what Moraine had against the Red, unless it's because she knew, Moraine knew that she had seen Rand as Dragon Master. So I don't know. Do you remember her saying that at the very end? She went to go get a 3-inch tortilla.
To a point, Liandrin is correct. As she tells Matt, she's like, hey, your friend's really sad, could probably use seeing someone that she knows. Which is good advice. Egwene could actually have benefited from seeing Matt, but she put so much self-doubt into him that he's like, you know what, maybe now's not a good time, and doesn't go and talk to her. But that's exactly what they both needed, was to be able to talk to each other.
The connection. Right. And I noticed that each one of the 3 trainees, let's say Mohawk, Red, and Egwene, all have differences in their little uniforms.
But Perrin, it was... So, dude sleeps through, like, crazy stuff. Like, I feel like Perrin keeps waking up in these really bizarre situations. Whatever happens, like, Uno gets impaled, and then all of a sudden he wakes up in a little trailer with the bad guy, with Ishmael. How long? And he's like, oh, where are we? What happened to me? I'm like, what the hell? What is happening? Anyway, I'm wondering kind of 2 things with him. So he's got a connection with the wolves, obviously. And what Ishmael says is, the more wolf you are, the better for me. Like, the more you're mine,
I think he says.
Crazy. So I'm like, okay, so the wolf people are bad. So that seems to equate to, like, this is a dark friend type thing. But then the other wolf guy, the tracker, like, and he was full on wolf, right? So he had, like, bloody mouth, like full on wolf. He doesn't seem to be a dark one at all. He's helping search for the dark one. So it was interesting to me of what Ishmael wants with Perrin, and saying, you're mine, the more wolf you are. But this other guy, either he doesn't know he exists, but the Ishmael said, I've been watching you. So I'm just interested to see why he's so interested in Perrin and not this other guy, or how this other guy is kind of shaking him from his tail.
I think that, I want to say a setup, the way he left and then the other guy came in and saved him, everything. I think he's going to keep an eye on him and follow him as to where he's going, keep an eye on him. Because he said, I'm going to keep an eye on you. I did not reference as to when this happened, but I didn't know if this name was important. Louis Theron Tedemon.
Yes, that was in the Rand and Logain. Yeah, I got a lot of notes on that one. So we were so it answered some of the questions from last time, or at least reminded me of some of the things from last time. Rand was talking to Logain. So Logain has the one power and you know, whatever supposedly is crazy. But he said the blood of Lews Therin runs through me. So there's a couple things he said that kind of answered our questions. I'm like, I can't remember if, like, the dragon is also the dark one. He's not, because he said specifically, like, the dragon and dark one are different. He's like, they'll I can't remember exactly what he said, but he referred to them as separate individuals or separate entities. So I'm like, okay. And then he referenced Lews Therin as his blood runs through him. So he's the dragon. So I think, if I'm remembering things correctly, Lews Therin is good and is the dragon. So Rand, being the dragon reborn, is going to defeat the dark one again. Rand told Logain, "You're not the dragon reborn," and that's when he seems to think he is, because he said the blood of Luce Theron runs through him. So
He also says he whispers to him.
I was wondering if when Rand first walked in and we were hearing the whispers, is Rand hearing the whispers?
There were whispers?
Oh, he said, "You're mine."
Oh, I didn't.
no, I missed that too. We did get confirmation that Rand has spent months trying to get there, at least from Logain, who knew, right? So he knew the guy. He's like, I know you've been spending months to come see me. I know, like he kind of knew that he was gonna come find him. He also, that we had seen this scene before in one of the pre-scenes where he, like that flashback to where he saw Rand and he saw he could see the power in him, right? So he could see this aura of. So it made me wonder, can Rand see that in other people? Can Aes Sedai see that in other people who have it? I mean, Rand has never referenced that he could, or is this something special that Logain can do that others can't?
Logain saw it in both of them, I think, because in the first season, Matt was all a little fuzzy, and then in this one, like the preview, Rand's a little fuzzy. So I don't know if he's just, there was power there. I'm picking you because you're standing in front of me. If Matt was standing in front of me, I'd say you were too. I don't know, because the guy obviously has lost a few rocks on the way. And now I wonder if the Cray is seeing how far Rand will go for him. You know, like,
go and get the wine, the specific wine and all that.
Right? Yeah. Who's gonna put wine in oatmeal? I mean, he went to the P Diddy party, but
the P Diddy party.
Yeah, all white. Did you notice that all of a sudden there is the 17th century pomp and circumstance P Diddy party? I was like, man, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was, and Selene, you know, he told her he needed help. She's like, all right, let me help you. And all of a sudden she's like, I need to get you a new coat. All of a sudden they show up all fancied up in this, like sneaking into some place. So she's got some interesting connections. I'm a little bit more interested in her. And he even said, like, why'd you help me? And I can't remember if she said, don't ask me a question you already know, or don't ask me a question you don't want to know. Those are,
you already know.
You already know.
That's what I thought she said. And so I don't know if it's just she likes.
It seems like they just went there to steal wine, right?
Yeah.
They went there just to get some wine. They put on a fancy coat, and suddenly he's getting a couple invitations to shit, and he's just dropping it in the fire. And they're like, oh, snap. He just burnt that.
The jacket she picked out. I mean,
awesome.
Could you have gone anywhere and gone, can I get a red jacket with these dragon kind of things all around it? You know, I mean,
it was off the rack. Yes, it was off the rack.
Is that a coincidence, Lady Catherine? Or is it significant? What's your gut?
Oh, no, that was custom order from Michael Kors. Definitely.
Okay.
Well, and I think so. Right, so a couple things that Logain had made a comment, because he's like, okay, how do I control it? Right. So this was the whole, I'm going back a little bit. It can't be contained. Eventually it will spill out of you. So then flash to later when Selene came back and he started, so they were starting to have like this kind of little rough. It does seem more consensual this time because she was initially pissed off at him. He started like having the power, and she said, show me. I'm not afraid of you. Show me.
And I noticed with this power there was some dark in it too. Before there hadn't been. It was all gold. This had a little bit of threads of dark in it. Before it hadn't at all. And when he you know, burned down his house, there was no dark, it was all gold. But in that, when they were getting a booty call, it was a little bit of dark.
But I thought that was like, what does she know about him? I mean, has that happened before? Has he shown that before, or does she just, we don't know who she is? How does
we saw those threads happening, and then she says, go ahead, I'm not scared. Was she seeing?
Show me, I'm not afraid of you. Yeah.
Was she seeing it happen, or was it just good timing?
I assumed she was seeing it happen because she said, show me. I don't think she was looking for him to flash her a little bit. Maybe she was.
Show me. Now, I think she knows what's going on, and I think she's setting up to lead him in the right direction. Because where was she when the fire started?
Right. I noticed that too. She wasn't out. She wasn't in the room.
Right. And I understand that, she runs a bar, she runs a hotel, she runs all that stuff. But I mean, I think she's trying to manipulate through the sexual side.
And yeah, I think you're probably right about that. But also, right, so whatever contacts she has, she's able to get onto that party. And then she also says, this is the most political city you'll ever that existed, right? Because I mean, we learned that that's pretty horrific, right? That it's been overcrowded. They reference after the Aiel War again, and all these people are there, and they just send them off on the great to hunt for the horn because they'll never come back. And now it's fewer mouths to feed, better for the taxes.
Pull the herd.
But so horrible classism. But she is very aware of that and very aware of all the politics. So I think is able to play all the sides.
Yeah, she's somewhere in the tribunal or cabal or something. But this one time, the horn is out there.
I thought that too, right? So this whole thing, they're like, oh, it's fake, or kind of just sending them out. But then we're already following this whole other people that are legit looking for the horn because they know who has it. They know that it's it's in the wrong hands.
We learned about it backwards. Normally, they search for something and then you find out where it's at. We found out it was under a throne last season, and now people are trying to go look for it, and they have no idea.
Well, it's not under the throne anymore. Now we don't know where it is.
Now it's anywhere, right?
All right, before we leave, we have to get to our patented Leaf rating. Ladies, how do you rate this episode?
I'd say this one is a 3.5. It's like goes into. It intrigued me a lot. I really enjoyed it, but now it's really pissing me off that they stopped at the third.
Nice.
I'm like, the next one.
I know I'm a binger. Watching these one at a time was really hard for me. I really liked this episode. I give the Nynaeve storyline like 4 3/4 because I could have watched a whole episode of that. I liked. I liked the Rand and Perrin and Matt and all of that too. All in, I think I'm at a 4 plus. I'll go 4.5. I think I really liked all the Nynaeve stuff. I really liked the arches and the past, present, future. Those fears. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I did. I just want more information. That's my thing. Is I really enjoyed what I watched, but it just left me with so many, dead ends.
3.5 leaves and 4.5 leaves. Everyone, this has been our non-reader reacts episode 3. Tune in next week as we go through this one episode at a time. We are the Way of the Leaf. You could follow us. You could subscribe. You could like. You could support us through Patreon, join our Discord. We're in all of those places. Thank you, humans on all the spectrum. And as always, run for your lives. This is The Way of the Leaf.
Bye!
Bye-bye!
Bye.